Hey, Dad.
What?
Do you know what I want?
What do you want?
Pancakes.
Okay, I'll get you some pancakes.
And then, do you know what else I want?
What else do you want?
TV.
You want to watch TV? Okay, I'll turn it on for you.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail.
You know what?
What?
I only want to listen to a radio show.
What radio show?
The Forgiving Soldier radio show.
This is the Forgiven Soldier radio show.
Strangers become your brothers. They got your six swinging back against that wall. And you will never have another who cared for you when times got rough. That's a brother. Who cared for you when times got tough? That's a brother.
And now, your host, Brian Basham.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. You're listening to the Forgiven Soldier radio show, just like my wife and Derek just told you before. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I love the support. I hope you guys like it. This week, pretty special guest. We got a great story. And without further ado, Mrs. Bailee Barnett. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to get into how we know each other.
Okay.
Because there's a couple, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, a very, very long time.
Let's do the math.
What? I was probably like,
So 2005
yeah,
is when I first met you.
yeah.
So 18 years.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's like a lifetime.
Dang.
That's crazy. How old are you?
I'm 26.
So 18 years.
Isn't that crazy?
So you were 8 when I met you.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, that's
crazy.
That is crazy. But so cool story. So I was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
I got stationed to Eureka, California to be a recruiter. And in that time, I met my wife, which y'all heard a couple episodes before, the whole story. But I met my wife, and then with that, in return, I met all of her family and her friends, and that included Rachel and Dale Barnett,
Yeah.
and their little redheaded daughter, Bailee Barnett, and she was a firecracker, still is a firecracker.
I would like to describe that, yes.
Yes, and then, so that's how we got started. So there's, it's crazy. So let's tell the world what you're doing now and why and how you're here. So what are you currently doing right now?
So I am singing and writing songs in Nashville as of right now. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm getting my real estate license too, but
You're
mainly
doing all
just
things.
music, doing
But
all the things.
The music though,
is number
that's
one.
what brought
yes.
you out to
yes.
the south.
To the south.
So you're from Humboldt County.
Yep.
So let's talk about Humboldt County.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay.
You know what? The one thing that I miss about, there's only one thing that I miss about, well, two
Agreed.
things. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law.
Yes.
I wish they move out here.
Mm-hmm.
We're still working on it. But the other thing is the weather.
I know. Oh man.
Like
The summers here are really rough.
they are. And I try
Yes.
to tell people, I'm like, where we came from, where Sarah came from and where we were living, like it didn't get hotter than 70 degrees.
People are like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah.
It didn't get colder than 30. Like there was no snow, there was no
Yeah.
ice. And if there was a snow, the people just lost their minds.
Yes.
And didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
And you're right on the coast. So it's perfect. It rains a lot,
Yeah.
but I'm no
I agree
stranger
with
to the
you.
rain.
I know, right? It rains a lot here too, though.
You didn't
That's
get
why
it.
it's so green. Did you say stranger to the rain?
Yeah,
Isn't
I'm
that
no
a
stranger.
song?
Yes.
Okay.
You got to know this if you're in Nashville.
I know. I'm not good at that.
Keith Whitley.
But, oh yeah, Keith Whitley.
Yeah. You've heard of him.
Yeah, of course.
His son is actually.
Miami. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
A great song.
Yeah.
His son, Jesse Keith Whitley,
Okay.
is performing and doing kind of what
Really?
you're doing. Yeah, he's at Nashville.
I'll have to look him up. That's really cool,
I
actually.
need to be your manager, I think.
Yeah, I am not good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really not. No, but back to I have a thing to say about the snow in Humboldt.
Yeah.
So you know how like obviously here it doesn't snow like a ton,
No, not really.
but like it snows here and it's like kind of, at least in Nashville, it snowed like a couple times last year.
Yeah, about 2 times. Now, when I was growing up, it snowed all the time.
Oh, really?
Global warning.
Yeah,
Al
man.
Gore tried to warn us.
Oh, yeah. But isn't it, okay, I don't know if you remember this, but for me growing up, like, because it never snowed, it was like overcast, foggy every morning.
Yeah.
When it did snow, it was in like Willow Creek, which is like 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah.
Inland. But like, I remember being a kid and being like, we're going to the snow.
Yeah.
Like it was like
You
a
had
thing.
to drive to the snow.
Yeah.
Addison, she first, because she was born in California.
Yeah.
So she first saw the snow and she was in like these flats. Like they didn't know how to drive. Go ahead, caller. You are on the air.
Absolutely.
Hey, who is this?
This is Dale.
Mr. Dale Barnett.
Mr. Dale Barnett, how you doing?
How you doing, brother?
Doing good.
Good. Well, hey, I got your daughter sitting right here. Do you have a question for her? Or?
Oh, goodness. I could go through a whole slew of them, but yeah, I do have a question for her.
All right, shoot.
Good morning. So the question would be, who, when you were a child, would have been your favorite artist, and who did you try to emulate the most when you were a kid?
Oh, I think I know that answer.
Good question. Actually, yeah, you do know that. You do know that. Actually, I think I have 2 though.
Okay.
Okay, one I think you know is Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Okay, still huge Swiftie. Taylor Swift was definitely like, I feel like she got me into songwriting. Like I remember listening to her music very young age and being like, wow, this is insane that she created this. And like she's been a part of every song she's ever written. So that's also something that's like very respectable. Also Adele, because I know, I was like, you probably remember that. Because I play piano. I also play guitar now, but my like number one instrument is piano. And I always like Adele, Someone Like You, I think was the first song I ever learned to play and sing at the same time. So I think that also, Adele was a huge like inspiration singing wise for me. So I'd have to say Adele and Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, more songwriting, Adele singing.
It wasn't your father? He's a good bass player. I've seen some videos. Dale,
he's going to deny this, but he can sing too.
Listen,
don't let him tell you otherwise.
all these years that I've known you, Dale, I didn't know you played an instrument.
Really?
Never knew. And then I saw the video of you playing with Bailee in the park. And I'm like, wait, Dale plays an instrument?
So my dad, I figured that out as I got a little bit older, but he had like an old bass. Well, he still has that same bass, but like he had a bass and it was always upstairs at our house. Remember the like room where it was just one room?
Yeah.
Or it was in his closet or something. And I remember the case was all like mangled. I think it was like his bass he had forever. And I remember like being a kid, Dad, I don't know if you remember that. You probably do, but like I would always be like, Dad, plug in and play the bass. And we just like didn't because I don't know why, because I don't know. Maybe
it didn't work.
I know it didn't work. The amp didn't work. I do remember that. And then as I got older and, my dad's retired now, so he has a lot more time.
Congratulations.
Yes. And he started practicing. So now he's like really good at the bass. He'll tell you otherwise.
Yeah, they all do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's very good at the bass with his like, he can hear things and like play them now. And he practiced all the time and it's like set up in his house. So now he like plays all the time.
So what you're saying is we're going to have to get Dale on this.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be big.
Yeah, pretty much. He's going to be my bass player someday. So.
Well, hey, Brian, I did play with her in Nashville on Broadway.
He did. That's a true story.
Listen, there's a lot of people that never said that and they're still trying to make it. You've made it, Mr. Barnett.
Yes, you have.
You get your walk of fame.
Well, hey, to go back to let's go back to my original question that I wanted to throw out at her. She did mention her Swiftie, and she did mention about Adele, which were 2 of her biggest icons that she followed. But I do have a picture on my refrigerator of another artist that she used to try to emulate and sing to all the time that she didn't mention when she was about 6 or 7.
Okay, who's that?
Who's that?
Britney Spears.
Oh, yeah. That's a true story. And something even worse is my mom let me dress up as her for Halloween when I was in preschool.
Parents are very progressive.
Yes, they are.
Right?
No, you're right, though, Dad. My parents bought me a stage. I remember it was like this plastic little stage with curtains. And I would dress up and like put on a show for my family in the living room when I was like 5.
That's
4
crazy.
or 5. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, Britney Spears.
Well, Dale, I appreciate you calling in. You'll be on the radio, sir. I mean, you've already played in Nashville.
Yeah.
You're on the radio now.
Jeez.
Like, retirement is good to you.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing better, Brian.
That's it. I'm working on it myself.
All right, man.
Well, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
Dad. Love you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Aw.
Mr. Dale Barnett. I love that guy.
Me too.
I love that guy.
What a guy.
So I remember you playing, I don't even know what we're talking about.
Adele?
No,
Oh,
we
wait.
were talking about it before you called, but anyway, it don't matter. We're moved on.
Anyway.
But I remember you playing
Yeah.
Adele song on the piano, and then I would play the guitar with you
Yeah.
and everything. I wasn't
True
that
story.
good.
Yes, you were. Yes, you are.
Ask Sarah, and she'll tell you I wasn't that good. But I mean, it was fun. Like I never knew that's the route you were going to go. Like,
I don't think I really knew that that's the route I was going to go either.
I know you were good, and I got videos upon
my
videos of you singing, especially when we were going to the Taylor Swift concert in Sacramento.
Yeah, when you guys surprised us for our birthday.
Yeah, I got that video too.
Oh, God. I just instantly started crying.
It was great. It was a great
so
experience.
great.
And, Addison is a huge Taylor Swift
That makes me
fan
so
right
happy
now.
and proud.
And we told her that story about you and McKenna, and she got super upset. Said you hadn't took
she's
us
like,
to
"What the
Taylor."
heck?
I'm like,
Wasn't
it didn't
your
cost that much
cousin-
back then.
Wasn't your cousin did something?
Yeah, Sandra.
Yeah,
She was her makeup artist.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
because she made us little goodie bags.
Yeah,
of like CoverGirl stuff. Yeah.
We had got the tickets, and then I found out she was on tour with her, and I reached out and like, hey, we're bringing some of the basketball kids to the concert with us, and she's like, oh, give me your tickets, I'll upgrade them. So like we got right
I know
by the
we
stage.
were so close. I remember, and then me and McKenna, not that long ago, sent me the picture of us of the t-shirts we made.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
No, it was a good time, and
yeah.
that's where I first saw Need to Breathe. They opened up for Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah.
And they
Need
had
to Breathe is absolutely amazing.
phenomenal.
Oh,
and
my
they had
gosh.
a megaphone. I remember the megaphone with the mic, and they were singing their hit song.
Wow.
Whatever that one is.
Yeah.
Radio show. It's Someone Like You, I think is their song. If it's not, it should be.
My boyfriend loves Need to Breathe.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah. They're phenomenal.
I think we're gonna get along, me and Garrett.
Oh, I
haven't
think
met
so
him
too.
yet, but I think
Yeah.
we're gonna get along.
You guys will get along just fine.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's take a break right here.
Okay.
We've had a lot of excitement. Let's bring it back in.
Okay.
But you're listening to the Forgiven Soldier radio show on 90.3 WKWC.
I've been thinking of the place where the redwoods meet the water, little town up north in the state of California. I know I don't wanna go back, but sometimes I think about that. Reminiscing always gets me missing that hillside town that taught me all my lessons. When you drive around, you never need no directions. But everybody knows everybody, and everybody says hello without sounding crazy. It's the place that made me its home. I've been living the fast life since I moved to the city. Late nights singing downtown, waking up feeling shitty. And I know I could trade it all in for that one simple life to live. But now I see there ain't nothing left for me. And that hilltop town that taught me all my lessons. And when you drive around, you never need
John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends." Thank you for listening to the Forgiven Soldier Radio Show. The Forgiven Soldier Radio Show.
Shooting doubles in a dive bar, and I knew those blue eyes were gonna break my heart, but I didn't care. I know life ain't fair. It'll take as quick as it'll give, so I'll give in. Now we're riding in your F-150, margaritas making me tipsy. Got the windows down, petty up loud. I ain't thinking about nothing but right now. You lean in and give me that kiss. Don't get much better than this, so I'm gonna live in the moment with you, 'cause we might not get another, but in my mind I'll always find you in our endless summer. Now I'm falling harder than I wanted to. Oh, why do you gotta go so damn soon? June and July, they both flew by, and I wish I didn't know what that means. You're gonna leave, and now we're riding in your F-150, margaritas making me tipsy. Got the windows down, petty up loud. I ain't thinking about nothing but right now. You lean in and give me that kiss. It don't get much better than this, so I'm gonna live in the moment with you, 'cause we might not get another, but in my mind I'll always find you in our endless summer. As the years go by, I know we'll both move on, but I hope you think of me every time you hear this song. They were riding in your F-150, margaritas making me tipsy. Had the windows down, petty up loud. Flying so high, didn't never wanna come down. Felt like it was never gonna end. Might have broke our hearts, but we'd do it again. We were so alive in the moment back then, 'cause we knew we wouldn't get another. And in your mind, I hope you find me, 'cause in my mind I'll always find you and our endless summer. Endless summer.
All right, welcome back in to the Forgiven Soldier Radio Show. I am with Bailee Barnett. If you missed the first section, we got a call from your dad, which is cool. I didn't talk to him in years, so it was cool to kind of catch up. So let's talk about your music. So you're in college. You go to Humboldt State University.
Yeah.
Shout out to the loggers. They're not the loggers.
No, the Eureka High was the loggers.
They were.
They're the lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks.
Close.
Let's do that again. Shout out to Humboldt State Lumberjacks.
Yeah.
So when you're going through school, is that where like you kind of got the itch to start playing? When did you first play
A show?
play out? Yeah, like
Okay,
the
so-
smallest of the shows or the biggest or whatever it was.
Yeah. So I was in college, started playing. Some of my friends like played guitar and stuff, and I started really getting into like playing piano and singing. Playing piano and singing. That was like it. And then my mom, this is actually crazy. I haven't thought about this in a really long time. So in 2018, I want to say 2017, 2018, my mom signed me up for American Idol. I didn't know that she did that, like at all. And she was like, hey, we're going to Boise because McKenna and everybody lived up there. and you're auditioning, like I signed you up, like all your stuff is good, we're going to audition. And I was like, wait, what? Like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact about me, I'm not like that anymore, but you probably remember I was terrified to sing in front of people. Terrified to play piano and singing the national anthem, like all that. Anyway, so I go up, audition for American Idol. I made it through like all the rounds for that day, like all of them. The first, second, I think there was like 3-4 rounds that day. We were there all day long. Made it through, then had like a Zoom audition and didn't make it through that. But after that, it was...
Stupid Zoom.
I know, dude. I was like, duh, it's on the computer.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't going to sound good. But I, anyway, did that. And then I was like, oh, wow. Like, I just learned so much about myself. And the lady was like, I remember her name is Katie. I'll never forget. And she kind of had red hair. That's why I was like, oh. And she was like, you have such a good voice and you have such good tone in your voice. I remember her talking about my tone. And, you got like that good rasp in your voice, all this stuff. But I can tell that you haven't ever sang in front of people, And I was like, wow, I didn't think about that, that aspect of it, which I probably should have, but I never really like thought about that. And so after that, I was like, I think I should start like playing places.
Yeah.
My first show ever was at Mad River Brewery in Blue Lake, California.
Been there.
And I called them and I just was like, hey, like, would you ever be open to like me playing, And then I started like scheduling. So I played at Mad River. I played at Six Rivers Brewery on the hill in McKinleyville. And
where the horses have the right of way.
Yeah, where the horses have the right of way. I played there. There was a couple, I can't really remember other places I played, but I started playing like probably like once a month. I was working at Costco at the time. Shout out to Costco Wholesale. And
they don't need no shout out.
I know, they got
money.
enough. Yeah. Was working at Costco and was playing shows. And then I was like, well, I want to play like more shows, but I was working for like a corporate. So it's really hard to like take days off. And like if I had like a show that weekend or week, like I couldn't take the time off. So then started working at Carl Johnson Company. And
you can shout them out.
Shout out to Carl Johnson Company.
Yeah.
Go shop there if you're ever in Humboldt. You can also order online. Anyway.
At
www.carljohnson.com. No, started working there, then started doing more shows. And then I was like, I want to go to Nashville. I know, it's very random. But I started like watching YouTube videos of people like moving to Nashville. And I was really into like Maren Morrison, Ryan Hurd at the time and like songwriting. I got into songwriting then.
Yeah.
And pretty much I visited Nashville one time before I moved. And then I literally remember coming here and I was visiting with my dad actually and my best friend Kylie. And I just remember being in Nashville and just feeling so, I don't know. It was like a familiar feeling. Yeah. I feel like, okay, this is a little bit of a side note, but this is what I'm learning as I get older. Everything that is like meant to be in your life or everything that you're like supposed to do on your path, like whatever God has for you on your path, feels familiar. For instance, when I came to Nashville, yeah, when
that's
I came to
Bailee, come on, we gotta write this stuff down.
Oh, we gotta write it down. But I've been thinking about this a lot lately because around people that I meet, like for instance, my friends I met in Nashville, the first people I met, like they felt like old friends. They felt familiar. When I came to Nashville to move, it felt like home already. It felt familiar. When I met my boyfriend, it felt like I was catching up with an old friend, like right when I sat down with him, So I feel like things that are meant to be in your life or things that when you're on the right path and you're doing those things, they feel familiar. And that's how I felt about Nashville. So I felt just very like, this is where I need to be.
But like you said, I mean, that's God telling you, hey, it's okay.
Hello. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And whether you're like super religious or not, like it's just like a basic, it's just common sense, And so anyway, that's how I felt about Nashville. And then I was planning to move right after I graduated college and the pandemic hit. And I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to go. And I had some friends moving with me, didn't work out, was, had to find my own place to live, and which honestly worked out for the way it was supposed to be, So anyway, long story short is I moved still. My mom, God bless my mom, because she knows me better than anybody, obviously. I'm very close with my mom. My dad too, but very close with my mom. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think I can move by myself. Like, I knew one person, and like, I just was like, I don't think I can do this. And she was like, Bailee, you have to do this. Like, this is what you have to do.
At least try it.
Oh, yeah. She's like, you can always come home, which is so valid, so true. And, but I didn't leave for college. I'd never moved away. Like, I was always, 6 minutes from my mom's house. And so I was just completely terrified. But my mom was like, you're going. Like, you literally don't have a choice. You're going. So she pushed me in the right direction. And then I moved. We drove over in the middle of the pandemic. I lived in a studio by myself. And
did you wear your mask while you drove, though?
Yeah, we had to.
That's so crazy.
I know. Not in the car.
Yeah.
No. I was like, no, we're driving. But every time we stopped at places, like, we literally would just stop, sleep in the hotel, get in the car, go. Like, it was very everything was closed. It was actually crazy. But yeah, then now I'm in Nashville.
Yeah. So you did your gigs and all that stuff. So you get to Nashville.
Yeah.
So you hear a lot of stories of people like, I went to Nashville, I played on the corners, like just trying to get your music out and the word. So you have, one thing I've noticed about you is you have your circle of friends and family who push a lot. And that is probably the biggest thing that you need.
Agreed.
When you're doing something, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they pushed it. And shared it. So when you went to Nashville, like, what was that experience like of getting into just to play somewhere? Because everybody and their brother is trying to play in Nashville.
Yeah. So pretty much I was there by myself, which I'm honestly so thankful that I had I moved, I got there in the beginning of August, and I didn't start playing downtown until October. So I had those first couple months, and I just literally sat with myself in my studio, and I made friends like in September. Like, I didn't have like a lot of stuff to do. And I just sat there and wrote songs and just played and practiced and like did everything I could, because I was just like so about that at that time, and Madison Johnson, she shout out to Madison Johnson. She actually just texted me. But she is if you don't know Madison, she's a very, if she wants something, she's going to go get it,
for sure.
And I necessarily...
We're not answering that call.
Oh, okay. I told her, I was like, I don't know what to do for like booking places, like reaching out. And so she did it for me.
That's awesome.
She is like, oh yeah. And I'm forever grateful and thankful for her with that, because she reached out to Tootsie's and was like, hey,
so
have this artist.
She's got a title though, right? Like,
yes.
Not with music. But
no.
What's her official?
So she actually just got like a different job. So she was working at the Phoenix Suns, and she was like in charge of all of the clubs, like their food. Like, she would schedule the food. Oh yeah. And she like manages everybody. And
she's like, hey, this is CEO or whatever her title is.
And she pretty much just like manages a bunch of people. Yeah. So she's like very good at that, And now she works at the Diamondbacks, and she's doing similarly to the same thing. Planning everything, but I'm pretty sure she's like a little bit higher up than she was.
Yeah.
But now she works for the Diamondback Stadium for Levy, or no, she doesn't work for Levy anymore, I don't think. Their contract was up, that's why. She does something else with food related at the Diamondback Stadium.
That's crazy.
I know. So, she's doing great. I actually just saw her too. But, so she reached out to Tootsie's, and I got a call from this guy who does Tootsie's, he who shall not be named. And, Harry Potter reference. Anyway, he called me, and they were like, hey, we're having auditions this Saturday. Like, come on out, And so I just got up on stage and sang with the band, and they were like, oh yeah, we want to hire you to play. I thought I'm going to be completely raw and honest right now. I thought it was going to be a lot different than it ended up being. I'm very thankful for downtown and Broadway, but at the same time, I feel like it's it's a job.
Here's the thing, Bailee. I don't think they're going to hear this.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Yeah, they probably won't.
But it won't probably. They probably won't.
And honestly, if they listen
might,
to
though.
it, they
might.
will not care.
Yeah,
they don't care. So no, they were just very like hard on their artists who play for them. Wanted to like them. They wanted us to like give them money, but like they weren't doing anything for us. If that makes sense. Like they just hired us on. The bar would pay us very tiny amount of money for how long we'd have to do things.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short is.
But it was kind of like, what's the word? Like when you're new into the business and you got to, there's a word and I'm getting older and I forget.
Like, I don't know the word too. Initiation?
Well, yeah, kind of, but like you had to pay your dues.
Yeah,
you had to pay your dues
my
into
dues.
the business.
Yes, for sure. But then I met Dalton Black and he was like starting his band back up because during the pandemic, there was no bands playing.
Yeah.
Or if there was a band playing, everybody had to sit down. They couldn't stand up and dance. It was like a different world than it is now. And,
I know here they had the first concert. Cam Thompson actually talked about when he was on the show, and they had a stage and the band and everything, but the people in the crowd was like so far away from them, and then they had their own little square.
Yeah,
that they could
sit in. Yes, and you literally like. It's so hard to connect.
Can you
with people that way.
imagine playing a concert and seeing the people and then like just seeing them? You know how they like cheer and clap and everything? It's like, hey, this is great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So then I started playing with Dalton and played with him for 2 years and his band was a co-singer. I am going to be nothing but positive about downtown on this radio show right now because
I want some of the people to come to the show, so don't bash them too hard.
No, I'm not bashing them at all. But it is you learn how to interact with people in the crowd and singing in front of people, which I talked about earlier. I was not very good at, and now it's like I don't even think about it anymore. I just do it, And so I'm very thankful for things like that. I've learned like multitasking because on stage you have to be like moving around and like doing that. So I'm very thankful. I also think that my voice has like developed a lot better because of how much I sang. Yeah. And like learning how to properly sing.
It's a muscle. So you work on it and everything.
Oh, yeah. And now I feel like my voice is even stronger because I sing just like strictly from my diaphragm now. So I feel like I learned how to sing properly. So there's a lot of benefits. I met a lot of musicians, like a ton, bunch of friends and stuff. So I'm very thankful for it down there. I'm glad that I don't do it anymore because I don't really sing downtown anymore. But I am very thankful for the time I had down there.
Let's take a break right here. You are listening to the Forgiven Soldier radio show on 90.3 WKWC.
You remember skipping rocks on the river, counting stars together in November. Where you looked at me, everybody else could see the way that you love me. The days went on and you and I have gotten gone from that nowhere town. So why do I see you in every red light, every single street sign? Why do I drive by your parents' house every time I come around? I've got good headspace. my parents' house. Every time you come around, I hear you doing great. You got a brand new place, but is your heart stuck in the old days?
Veterans Empowered Together is a nonprofit 501c3 organization made up of veterans for veterans. We want to personally invite every veteran out to our Coffee with Veterans event every second Saturday of the month. If you have questions or want to get involved, our website is www.veteransempoweredtogether.com and our number is 270-852-6518. Find all the current events on our Facebook page as well, facebook.com/Veterans Empowered Together.
The Forgiven Soldier Radio Show. Christ offers forgiveness for everyone, everywhere.
We've been at this for quite some time. Felt so fast, ooh, but it felt so right. Every day together is better than the last. Sometimes we try to mess this up, but life's got other plans. We're meant to make it out alive. Everything's gonna be okay with you by my side. Before you I was just getting by, floating around downtown. I was singing in a dive bar. You walked in and turned my life around. And every day I can't believe where this is going, and I'm waiting to wake up from this dream. Boy, you ain't just a small part of my world. You're everything. You can feel it, but you can't explain. It's coming from my heart and running through my veins. Every time you kiss me, everything just stops. They say home is where the heart is, and mine is in your arms. Before you I was just getting by, floating around downtown. I was singing in a dive bar. You walked in and turned my life around. And every day I can't believe where this is going, and I'm waiting to wake up from this dream. Boy, you ain't just a small part of my world. You're everything. You're the highest high I've ever been on, and I don't ever wanna come down. Before you I was just getting by, floating around downtown. I was singing in a cover band when you walked in and turned my life around. And every day I can't believe where this is going, and waiting to wake up from this dream. Boy, you ain't just a small part of my world. You're everything. You're everything.
All right, welcome back in to the studio. I can say studio now. We are with Bailee Barnett, talking about just her and our story and her life and how she got from Humboldt County to Nashville, right? And that's a story in itself. Should be a song.
Oh, yeah.
If it's not already, I think you have something of that.
something of that nature.
Yeah, so I want to talk about the songs.
Okay.
So what was the your very first song that you put out in the world?
Oh, man.
For the world to hear. Actually, now we're going to take a different approach. What was your very first song that you wrote?
I honestly don't remember.
What? Everybody remembers their first, Bailee.
Okay, well, the first song that's like super important to me, can I say that?
Yeah. Whichever one is on your head, you know, like
So
in your
I
mind, rent free.
So I wrote rent free. So I would write in high school on the piano and stuff, but I don't remember like what like songs they were or how they went or anything like that. I also have a terrible memory, so that's also on me.
It gets worse with age.
I know. I've heard that. But I did write a whole EP that is out right now on Spotify, I think. I took a bunch of music down only because it costs a lot of money to keep it up in comparison to like the money I was getting out of it. So I kept like all the songs that like mean a lot to me on there. I wrote that EP, but the first song that was like, I wrote literally in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. That was like big for me. And like, it was my first like real production song that I put out. And it meant a lot to me is Hilltop Town.
Yeah.
I would have to say. It's not my first song I ever wrote. I wrote a ton before then.
Yeah.
But the first one that's like, I listened to it and I was like, oh, wow.
The first one you wrote, like when you wrote it and you're like, oh, wow. Like,
yeah. I literally was like, oh, wait. I was like, wait a sec.
This is the best song ever written.
Yeah. That's how I felt about
feeling,
it.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I've had about 10 of those. Like, this is the best song I've ever
That's
written.
awesome because I've maybe only had it like 3 times. I'm very hard on myself.
Well, I am too. Like, like I've only put one out. So all the other ones are in my phone.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I go back and listen to it like, oh yeah, it's still pretty good, you know, but it didn't. And that when you first write it and you're like,
and you got that feeling. Yeah.
This is good.
Oh no, I totally know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote Hilltop Town the first time I ever like, cause it took me a really long time actually to like feel homesick just because like I always knew that I made the right decision.
Yeah.
And I always knew that like there was nothing left for me. Like in Humboldt, like I love Humboldt. I'm very thankful that I grew up in a place like that, especially McKinleyville, and like the close knitness of it.
And it's hard to explain. Like when I tell people, like Sarah says, I'm from California, they're like, oh,
yeah, they think it's
California.
like LA. I'm like, you don't even know.
I'm like, listen, there's better hunters in Humboldt County than I've seen here.
Oh yeah.
And it's the country.
Oh yeah.
Ish, right?
Oh, for sure.
I know when I came to town, they were like, man, where are you from? You sound redneck. And I'm like, well, Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
Now I got a hybrid like California, like McKinleyville kind of Kentucky mix.
Yeah.
But
no, McKinleyville is definitely, you're spot on with that. It's very just like cow pastures and everyone wears boots. And
it's
a
like
lot
Merritt
of people
Ford.
Oh, yeah. Merritt Ford.
Yeah.
Driving the same truck since high
Picture
school,
of Humboldt County is Merritt Ford. Like you just put him on there, like he's wearing a hoodie and shorts and boots. You know, it's just
there. It is.
It is.
Oh yeah,
that's Humboldt.
But what was I saying?
I have no clue.
Look, I forgot. I told you, terrible.
I'll tell you, we
Hilltop Town.
Hilltop, great song.
Okay, great. Thank you. I wrote that probably the first time I ever like truly felt homesick, and I was like, oh wow, like I miss the close knitness of like for instance, there's a lyric in there. I know close. Is that a word? I don't know. I made it up.
That's cool. Trademark,
patent it right now. There's a line in there where it's like when you drive somewhere, you don't need any directions.
Yeah.
And I remember like thinking about that in the car because in Nashville, like not so much now, like I know where I'm at normally, but like for a long time, like everywhere I went, I'd have to put my
relationship with your GPS.
Yes, and I've never had that in my whole life.
Carol, we need to go to the store.
Yeah, literally, like growing up, I don't even think I used my GPS app until I moved. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there wasn't smartphones.
I know.
You know,
you just knew where to go. Like even
actually,
now,
I might be. Did I sell you your first smartphone?
Probably.
I think I did.
At Verizon.
Yes.
Probably. That's hilarious. But anyways, Hometown. Hey, you showed me my first phone.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hilltop Town is, I was kind of like just homesick and just missed the whole like family aspect of, the hometown. So that's probably the first song that like means the most to me. That is like very, and I met my producer before that, and he produced it, and that's like the first radio song I ever, like radio sounding song that was like, everything before that was like guitar and voice.
Yeah.
That has like production on it.
That was a super long answer for a question. We went
Hey, I like
10
long answers.
different directions.
I talk a
That's
lot,
awesome.
so.
No, I enjoy it. Take some time. There was one that you had. It was after Hilltop.
Yeah. Was it Old Days?
Yes.
That is, okay, Old Days. So Old Days also means a lot to me. I wrote Old Days. Okay, after listening. So I remember I was really getting into songwriting. This is crazy. I was like wanting to write about something that was like not like related to me per se. And like some of my friends, like were talking to me about like the people that they still like loved per se in our hometown. And like, so I wrote that song like based on that, but I also was listening to the song Whiskey Glasses.
Yep.
And I did like a deep dive into that song. And I watched a bunch of videos on the songwriting process of that song. And I loved that song because if you truly listen to the lyrics of Whiskey Glasses, it is a very sad song. But it doesn't sound
the one
sad.
by Morgan Wallen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pour me another round. I'm getting over this girl. I'm going to need these with, And I loved that. So I was like, I want to write a song like that. And Old Days for me is that song because if you listen to it, you're like missing someone and you're like, oh, you go back to your hometown and you're still just like, oh, I drive by their parents' house or I do this or whatever. But it doesn't sound sad.
Yeah.
So that was my writing process.
Well, we're going to play it. We're going to play it.
Do it. I love that song.
We're going to play
so
all
much.
your songs.
Okay.
Y'all are going to hear Bailee Barnett. So when I asked this question to almost every guest that I had on here.
Okay.
So if you were to have a choice of writing a song and somebody else recording it and going number one, or would you rather sell out Bridgestone Arena and play your own songs?
That is a really, really tough question. That's a great question, though. I literally went to Bridgestone and watched a concert last night. So
did you? Who did you see?
The 1975.
Oh, there was a couple people from here that went.
Oh yeah, they were amazing.
I have no clue who they are.
They are like an alternative pop band.
Okay.
And they're very, very weird. Like very weird, but like the whole concert is like a work of art. Like the whole stage is like a house and they're just all hanging, jamming in a house.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like they do like acting with it too. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. It was insane. It was beautiful, to be honest, but they are so weird.
Are they?
So just be prepared for that if you ever see them.
Well, they're going to be on the show. So.
Oh, sweet.
No, I'm kidding. I've never been there. If they want to, I'd love to have them.
Who knows what they would say? They don't have a filter. But anyway, that is a really tough question because I love the whole songwriting aspect and that would be like an honor to be a part of something that would go number one. But like, I don't know. I love being on stage.
Yeah.
I feel at home on stage. Another thing that's like just feels like I'm on the right path is when I get on stage.
Well, listen,
like,
you've always been an entertainer, even as a kid. Like you're the star of the room, right?
Yeah.
Always been that way. And so I see where you're going with the entertaining part of it.
Like
so I'll give you my answer.
Okay.
Obviously, I love singing and I love, but I'm so, when you said you were hard on yourself, like I hate singing my own stuff in front of people. Like when I play for people, I don't want to be around them kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I would love to write a song and somebody else
take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like do you.
Yeah.
But pay me.
Yeah.
You know, kind of
for
thing.
Sure.
So
and songwriters in town are very, very well off, especially if their songs are number one.
Yeah. I have I'm going to say good friend. I've talked to him twice, but Mitch Roselle.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was on my show.
Wow.
And he came to Owensboro for a show and I was like, hey, be on my show. He was performing here in Owensboro.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I'd love to have you on the show. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So we did
That's really cool.
It was during COVID. So we did it through Zoom. Stupid Zoom.
I know.
And it just wasn't authentic. It wasn't, I mean, it was good, but it wasn't good, you know? And but yeah, I mean, just his he'd rather write a song and perform.
Oh, yeah.
It. This dude's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But he's wrote for Garth Brooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Big hero. Big fan of Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
But
he's kind of like, he's more in like the, not older country, but like older, like 90s country, right?
who?
Mitch Russell.
Yeah, that's the kind of music he writes and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think I've seen him.
He's younger though.
Yeah. I think I've seen him like play once or twice.
Oh yeah, because you're friends with Allie.
Yeah.
And he plays with Allie a lot.
Yeah. That's probably where I know him from. Yeah. You should check her out. She's great.
Yeah. I want her on the show.
Yeah. She's a busy gal.
I know she is.
She is. She's a very busy gal.
Hopefully you can help me with that. So yeah, you still haven't answered the question though. Did you answer the question?
No, I was thinking about it. I would say sell out Bridgestone and sing it.
Yeah.
Just because I love, like, I got the amazing opportunity last October to open for Easton Corbin.
Oh.
That was like the biggest show that
was at the casino?
had. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I literally had a 30-minute set. I got 6 songs. That was it. And I'm not even joking you, like, I remember coming off the stage and being like, who was that up there? Like, I loved every second of it.
Rachel.
Hello, you are on the air. Who is this?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. This is Renee Campbell.
Hi, Renee.
Calling from the big city of McKinleyville.
McKinleyville. Horses have the right of way. I love that sign that was on there.
It's still there.
Oh, I know. I love it. I hear you might have a question for Mrs. Bailee here.
Miss Bailee. Hi, Bailee.
Hi, Nay.
I'm calling in to see, okay, why did you decide to move from the big city of McKinleyville to Nashville, and why was that your passion to go and do that?
Oklahoma by the sea. We actually were like talking about this a little bit earlier, but I started playing shows in McKinleyville and just fell in love with it after my mom signed me up for American Idol. And I just fell in love with it and then started taking music and songwriting more seriously. And I literally was shouting out my mom earlier because right before I moved, I had a little bit of a mentee bee and was like, I can't do this. I can't move. And my mom really pushed me in the right direction. But that's kind of how I got to Nashville, was just I started falling in love with songwriting and singing and was doing a lot of research on Nashville and like what like Nashville could do for you. And so that's what brought me there. Brought me here.
Do you remember when you were first auditioning via Zoom?
Yeah.
Remember, I was on the other side of the wall while you were singing.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I did it in the conference room at the office. But yeah, that's the most part of it.
So I hear Rachel.
Yeah, is my mom there?
Has lost her voice.
Oh,
is
yeah.
probably watching the Raider Bear game. That was horrendous.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, everybody. Can you hear her? She's trying to say hi.
No, poor mom. I call her like every day. But I was talking to her a couple days ago and she answered the phone. She's like, hello. And I was like, what happened? She's like, I don't know. She was sick last week, so maybe that's it.
It was probably her yelling at the Raiders.
Yeah, probably.
No, it was before the Raiders. It was last week. And see, the office here is happy because she's one speaker and I'm the speaker on the other end. And when we're gone, it's super quiet in the office.
Oh, yeah.
It's like vacation.
Yeah.
I don't know Rachel Barnett to be a talker, though.
Yeah, she's actually very quiet.
Yeah,
quiet.
She's actually kind of socially awkward, so.
You're real funny. Yes. And all her friends are very quiet, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thanks for calling in. I love you guys.
We love you, too. I love you, too. Did you hear her?
Take care of yourself.
I just translated
some honey,
for your mom.
Rachel.
Your mom just said,
Thanks for calling,
all right,
Nay, for
love
her.
you.
Love you.
Okay,
Bye.
Love you, too.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, my poor mom.
We're not going to make fun of her.
I love to.
It's so easy.
I love her so much. Anyway.
I was going to say something. But, so on the music side of it, are you kind of just letting it happen now? Like not so much of like the gazelle, like intensity of going after it.
Yeah.
Are you still writing?
I'm still writing.
Yeah.
Always writing. So I feel like I was taking the Easton Corbin show last October.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like after that, I've kind of been at a plateau per se. Like that was like something I really like practiced for and worked hard for. And like once it happened, it was one of those situations to where like after it was over, you're like, okay, I just worked so hard for this. Like what now? So personally, the last year I've been like navigating how to like celebrate those wins and continue forward and upward with wins like that. And celebrating, one thing in music is that's very important. Songwriting music, like celebrating the little wins, you know, like for instance, not that long ago, I got to play at Live Oak for the first time. Like that was a huge thing for me. I had a writer showcase that was a full band. Like that's a very small thing, but it's also a big thing in my like artist world. I have a writer's round tomorrow night at like a dive bar in Hermitage, which is like 20 something minutes from Nashville. I'm celebrating that, you know, like just getting to play. I feel like that's kind of the last year working on being hard on myself, not being hard on myself, and working on like celebrating the big win. So I don't feel like a failure if I don't do anything as equivalent to opening for Easton Corbin.
Sure. Well, I think anything that you do, it's the small steps, right? But you celebrate so much better when you celebrate all along the way.
Oh, yeah.
So a dream of mine would be to, and that's if, I mean, I like I said, I like singing and stuff, but it's not, it's kind of is what it is. It's almost, I use it as a therapy. And I just get stuff off my chest and ideas or whatever. But I would love to play at the Bluebird Cafe.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Me too.
Everybody says at Grand Ole Opry, which would be really super cool.
But the Bluebird is like sacred ground. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy.
I know. I actually was.
I would like just to attend, like eat something there, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. I was actually driving here. I did like a 2-hour drive this morning. And I was like, I feel like I haven't like thought, like I haven't got to like stop and just like think about a lot of things like lately just because I've been going.
Because you make TikToks while you like in the car. So
I do?
Yes.
When?
Your last TikToks are in the car talking about them kids. You know what I mean?
Them kids
at the schools. I don't want them to hear this, and they probably see it.
I don't know. I thought I was on I talked about one girl saying she skinned her knee and it was spicy.
I mean, it's probably been some time, but anyways,
no, I probably was talking about them.
Your mind.
Yes, and I was thinking about like, I was like, oh, I really got to like reach out to these places to like start playing some more, you know, because I do writers rounds when friends ask me or like people ask me or things like that. So that's cool, but I just don't do it as much as I should, I feel like, especially because I do have like the time for it. So I was like, I want to figure out how to play at the Bluebird.
Yeah.
And.
Well, you're going to have to give me tickets.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I just got to figure that out. I also would love to play at the Listening Room. And like Whiskey Jam is a big round in Nashville. That's like a writer's van showcase. I did the other one in Nashville called Bus Call. That was like one that was pretty big.
Is that the one that was on? I watched one. It was streaming on Facebook.
That was always at the Commodore Grill.
Okay.
Yeah. That was so nice that they streamed those. I haven't played there in a long time, but yeah. Or like Live Oak was a big thing for me. Just like, I don't know. I feel like music is something like, there's a lot of like harsh realities when it comes to like your music career. And just soaking those in and like just trying not to give up. Yeah. I feel like I'm very like at that point where like I know that I don't want to give up, but I'm like trying to be realistic about things. But at the same time, it's like,
listen, if it happens, it happens.
I know.
Right?
It's going to happen. Exactly. Yeah. So that's kind of like, I'm not going to like stress about it as much anymore. I'm just going to like do what I love to do. And I feel like removing that stress will also help me be a lot more creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you driving 2 hours.
I'm really happy that I came up here. It's been great.
And I want to get you to Owensboro. I want to get you performing. We got Brasher's Little Nashville.
I would love to do that.
Where it looks like it. I will take you down there, but it looks like it's on Main Street in Nashville. Cool. But it's great local artists.
That's awesome.
play there, but I
Yeah.
want to get you there and just different places.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Meet some cool people here.
It's
in
not that
Owensboro,
like it's
Kentucky.
not that far of a drive, so it'd be
Not at all.
awesome. Yeah.
Not at all. But
Love
I
to.
really do appreciate you
Of
being
course.
on. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm glad to see you
I know.
growing up. You
That's
know,
crazy.
Addison reminds us so much of you when you were,
Really?
younger.
Sarah's
and
actually
stuff.
told me that before.
It's crazy.
I'm so
Like,
happy. I hope that's a good thing.
She's got the little rasp in her voice, and she loves Taylor Swift, and I think we're about to go eat some lunch
Yes,
together.
I can't wait to see them.
Yeah. So I leave you the mic. Say whatever you want.
Oh.
It is yours.
Oh, it is mine. Thank you so much for tuning in. Super happy that I got to, tell a little bit of my story today. Go stream my music if you want to. Bailee Barnett, 2 E's at the end. But thank you so much, Brian, for having me. It's really great to catch up and see you. And just being on a podcast is such a cool experience. Like when you're being interviewed. So anytime that I get to do this, I really, really appreciate it. And I thank you so much for having me.
Well, I appreciate
Yeah,
it. And
of
we're on
course.
the radio, 90.3.
Oh, yeah, 90.3.
So everybody's going to hear you.
Tune in.
Everybody listen. So thank you guys for tuning in, and God bless.
Been a long week, been a hard day. Getting tired of all of these distractions, getting me off track and making me mad. Need a drink, need a break, need a bar. Needing my baby right beside me, making me feel pretty, kicking it back. Little salt, little lime will help me unwind. It's about that time. Happy hour starts now. Watch the sun sink down. Bartender blend us something strong. Cause we about to turn it on. Feels like paradise looking into your eyes. The only thing we need is a little me and you, and margaritas for two. When that first sip hits my lips, I'm on a tropical vacation, a white sand situation, all in my head. The way you're drinking that drink, yeah, it's making me think we got a pretty good thing. Happy hour starts now. Watch the sun sink down. Bartender blend us something strong, cause we about to turn it on. Feels like paradise looking into your eyes. The only thing we need is a little me and you, and margaritas for two. There ain't nothing that tequila in your love can't fix. Happy hour starts now. Watch the sun sink down. Bartender blend us something strong. 'Cause we about to turn it on. Feels like paradise looking into your eyes. The only thing we need is a little me and you, and margaritas for two. Margaritas for two.
You've been listening to My Dad on the Forgiven Soldier Radio Show. The Forgiven Soldier Radio Show is a broadcast service of Veterans Empowered Together and 90.3 WKWC.